This is the thing that students tell me they remember most about my class, like 7 years after. I think our politics have been ruined in no small part by a 19th century French theater genre. Really. I think this is maybe the most important piece of cultural theory I teach in my classes. Welcome back to Decoder Ring, where each week I break down a piece of cultural theory that helps us understand our current political moment. I'm Dr. Shan, a professor who studies pop culture and politics. Today I'm talking about melodrama. Taking a class on the political theory of melodrama in grad school changed the way I think about everything, really. Most people use the term melodrama to mean something overly dramatic, but cultural theorists like Linda Williams and Elizabeth Anker have observed that melodrama is more a way of structuring stories and rhetoric. And Williams has even gone as far as to claim that melodrama is the primary mode of American storytelling. And after watching a lot of movies as a film professor, I agree with her. Melodrama as a mode or genre of storytelling is defined primarily by the following six things. One, melodramas feature a set of characters known as the melodramatic triad, made up of a villain, a victim, and a hero. Melodramas posit that suffering equals virtue. We know who the good guys are in melodramas because they suffer. Melodramas also construct Manichaean dichotomies of good and evil. What that means is that the characters are just good or bad at their core. There isn't a lot of psychological explanation for why they are who they are. Melodramas have plots that begin and want to end in a space of innocence. The characters start out happy, the bad guy intrudes upon that happiness, and for the rest of the plot, the good guys are trying to get back to some notion of uncomplicated happiness. Melodramatic plots also revolve around what is called a dialectic of pathos and action. All this means is basically we alternate between feeling and doing, and each of those things drives the other forward. And finally, melodramas are associated with rescues that are either too late or in the nick of time. I'm going to make a couple of deep dives into how this became so prevalent in our storytelling, how it shows up in movies, how it shows up in individual political speeches. But for the sake of keeping this video compact, think about some of the resonances between these tropes, these repeated things in this genre, and our politics. Convincing supporters that the other side doesn't just disagree, but is evil to their cores. Emphasizing personal suffering as a marker of virtue, even when it has nothing to do with being virtuous. Wanting to go backwards in time to reclaim some sort of space of innocence that you imagine. And rhetoric that seeks to convince you to take action now before it's too late. There's so much more to say about this, so follow along if you want to see parts 2, 3, and maybe 4. And I sincerely think that if more people knew about this, we might be able to make our politics better.